Joining us now to discuss the persistent political crisis is PDP Chieftain in Rivers State, Honorable Collins Ordu. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
And thanks for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. And also joining us is the Chairman, Action People's Party, APP, in Rivers State, Honorable Wokekoro. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Honorable Sonny, I'll begin with you on your thoughts about the denial of Governor Siminalayi Fubara into the Assembly complex yesterday. We've seen the arguments for and against, but let's get your thoughts.
Well, I want to give a comment on this matter based on objectivity, without trying to play the terrorist or any bias over this. It's unfortunate. Well, very unfortunate that these level of democracy, one will be such fashion. Never before in the history of Rivers politics, I want access to the because I've been there for I've seen governors come and I've seen governors. I have not seen any government so humiliated and saying it's not the city. Before now, we have an assembly that will take a part of governor. What does
all right, Honorable Sonny, unfortunately, we're having a bit of struggle with your audio, so we're hoping that we can rectify that. But let's also, if you can help us rectify the audio from your end, maybe log out and log back in. But let's bring in Honorable Collins Ordu into the conversation. I had asked Honorable Sonny Wokekoro about his thoughts regarding the governor not being given access to the Assembly complex. Let's get your thoughts as well on that.
Yeah. Good morning once more.
Good morning.
Yeah, you said the governor was not given access to the complex. First and foremost, that is not the Assembly complex. That is the Assembly quarters. That is where the Assembly members reside. So we would expect that with the heightened tension in the state, the place where they live should be constantly locked. But that notwithstanding, let me go into the point. He was not locked out. You see, if you are able to cite the letter written by the governor, you would recall that the letter bears 11th of March. And yesterday was just 12th of March. And the governor had activities as at yesterday, as at day before yesterday, before this letter was written. And let me even cut the story short. The House of Assembly spokesperson has come up to say that they never received any correspondence from the governor. Even the governor confirmed it while he was at the gate there yesterday, that he made attempts to reach them on phone, which didn't happen. So to say that he was locked out is completely out of it. Recall that this same governor had visited this complex, these assembly quarters before, and then in a King Kong manner broke the gate and entered there. It's unfortunate that the hands of time has changed now. Therefore, he can now begin to tell people. But I think that the manner in which he wrote the letter and then said he was coming to present the budget, he wrote on the 11th, you say you're coming to present the budget on the 12th. I'm a former member of the Rivers State House of Assembly. That's completely inappropriate. You write to the Assembly, and then the Assembly will have time to fix for you to come. Within this period, even former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly will be informed that, look, the governor is coming to present budget. And then we all will come and welcome him in a grand style. I think that the approach was completely in order.
But he had said he had tried, he said he had tried to call the speaker. He made calls to a number of the lawmakers. I mean, from the reports we have, and that there hasn't been any way to get across to them. So don't you think that we are way past all these technicalities, and right now the focus should be looking to push Rivers State forward, and whatever needs to be done, e.g. re-presenting the budget, should be done?
I'm very happy that this question you asked now. You see, recall that there has been frayed nerves in the state with various tantrums, all manner of languages used by the governor. You recall that the House of Assembly has remained very quiet, but the governor has, without hesitation, in every forum, called them enemies of the state, his enemies and all of that. So one expects that as the Supreme Court has ruled now that this is the line to toe or the line to follow, the governor will, in his rightful thinking, sit down and plan how to reintegrate and reestablish relationship with these people, not just grandstanding by playing to the gallery, running to write a letter, do this and do that. I think that the governor, in his rightful sense, should get in touch with people who by now they should be softening all the frayed nerves before you come and do all of this. You don't still try to instigate the already tense situation.
Okay, now, Honorable Ordu, from your submission so far, it seems like it's almost payback time by the legislators who you allege have been hurt by comments and actions of the governor in the past, and there should be ways of doing things. But looking at the overall interest, as my colleague Olive said, of the River State people, because the situation is different. The Supreme Court has withheld allocation of the River State government, and we do know the implications of this. So the governor has also tried to make entreaties. He tried to meet with members of the House and the Speaker, and they refused to see him. He went there yesterday to fulfill some of the conditions of the Supreme Court. In obeying the Supreme Court order, they refused to see him. So how do we move forward from this standoff? And in your opinion, as a former member of the State House of Assembly, how would you recommend he goes about, calming frayed nerves, offering an olive branch, and a reconciliatory tone?
I recall that the Honorable Minister of the FCT made this whole thing simple yesterday in his press briefing. He said the governor knows what to do. He even mentioned names of those the governor could reach. Do you understand? So I think that going forward, as it stands now, like we mentioned, frayed nerves, use of foul language here and there, and the need for the state to move forward, all you need to do is humble yourself.
And you mentioned that you should talk to...
The governor is the aggressor. And at this point, he needs to just downplay his ego. And for the interest of the Rivers people, recall that few days after the Supreme Court judgment, the Assembly members asked him to submit the budget within 48 hours. The people are seeing it as ultimatum. It is not. They gave a reason why they said in 48 hours. They said for the past 2 years, we have been traumatized, we have been chastised, and we want to just handle this and go for leave for about 3 months to go and rest. And that was the reason they asked him. The governor did not respond to that request. He did not respond to the request, nor did he
we seem to be struggling with the audio as well with Mr. Ordu. We hope that can be rectified. So much had been said. You've said a lot of things. You did say that the governor is the aggressor in this scenario. From the body language that Nigerians can see on the outside, the former minister granted a media parley yesterday, and he was very, very rattled in that media parley. You could see him visibly upset by a number of the happenings in Rivers State. So some would argue that in this case, it might not necessarily be Sim Fubara, who has said repeatedly, from the moment the Supreme Court gave the judgment, that he was willing to obey the judgment of the Supreme Court. He said he wanted to see the certified true copy, and when upon receiving it, he said he's making the steps now to represent the budget and will do whatever he needs to do. The former minister, on the other hand, had said a number of things that some would consider insightful. In this case, is he not being the aggressor? Honorable Ordu, yes.
He is the driver on the seat in this state now, and we expect him, because if he succeeds, it's on his head. If he doesn't succeed, he's on his head. He's the governor. So I think that at this point in time, now that Supreme Court, because he waited till this long, these issues would have been resolved long time ago. And like you said, he said he will implement. We have had this, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intervened. The governor made a state broadcast that he was going to implement. Till date, we didn't see that. Okay, to buttress another point, look, the governor is acting as if he's unreliable, not keeping to his words. He said he had not received the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment, but went ahead. There are two items that were decided. He went ahead to implement that of the local government. He hadn't received the CTC copy, and now he claimed that because he hasn't received the CTC copy, he's not going to reach out to the assembly members. But the assembly members wrote to him to say, look, come in the interest of Rivers people. I don't see anywhere where these assembly boys have in any way wronged him or wronged the state. They have been proactive in all of their actions.
All right. I want to bring in Honorable Sonny into the conversation as well, and I want him to react to this same question. When Honorable Collins Odu was speaking, he did say that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is the aggressor in this situation. And my question to him was that from the body language we are seeing, especially from the media parley that was granted by the former governor and the minister of the FCT, former Governor Nyesom Wike, we could see a number of statements they had made. For example, if they impeach him, nothing will happen. He's a militant. You know, the governor is acting up because he's getting IGR and facts. So many things were being said, and some people would consider that as, you know, being inflammatory, and that he might be the one that's the aggressor. And I want you to speak to that as well, the media parley and the reactions.
You see, I have always said, and I've maintained that when you're in your Olympian height or pinnacle of your career, there are so many things with your wealth, with your power. There are so many things that are possible that may not be advisable. You know, one will expect that there are some certain level you attain in life. There are things that you shouldn't say anymore. There are things that shouldn't come out of your mouth. You know, I'm sure, like you said, the whole Nigeria, the whole world is seeing what is going on. I'm not speaking for Governor Fubara. I'm speaking as a stakeholder in Rivers State, having been commissioner twice in this state. So I'm speaking as a stakeholder. What is happening in Rivers State is an eyesore. In the first instance, desperate situation demands desperate approaches to it. The assembly quarters you're talking about, that's where currently the state assembly people have been meeting for the past how many months now, doling out bills and even compelling the governor to even sign them. In the same complex, from where they wrote to the governor, give him ultimatum of 48 hours to come and present the budget. And governor said, okay, I have no qualms with that, but let me see the satisfied true copy of the Supreme Court judgment. And finally, when he got it, he wrote to you, inviting you for parley, just for you people to discuss and interface as members of the same or citizens of the same state. They insulted him, they didn't even honor that invitation. Now he wrote back to them because their argument and their grounds was that the letter emanated from the SSG's office. Who is SSG and who is the governor? SSG represents the governor. Now, governor overlooked that and wrote to them personally. That's the document I saw on social media. Thank you very much. Requesting to come and present that same budget for which they have given him 48 hours to come and present. He went there, the place was shut down. The gate was locked.
and then somebody is somewhere trying to beg the issue and trying to rationalize it because you're taking side or you're either on this side or on the other side. It is Rivers State that is suffering. It is Rivers State people that is suffering.
Please hold. Does the argument
know where to draw the line on all things they do in life? How can somebody derogate the office of governor of Rivers State in the manner which they have done it?
Honorable Sonny, if I may interject at this point.
Is talking now.
If I may interject at this point, you said you talked about the letter that Governor Sim wrote. And when Honorable Collins was speaking, part of the argument in support of the actions that we've seen play out is that the letter was dated 10th, that he would appear on the 11th, and he said the governor appeared on the 12th. One. And two, he said also that, the governor should have gone to speak to a number of people to sort of wet the ground before coming.
To them before now. They just simply summon them no matter the hours that they appear. The one that is justifying the duration of the letter was a former member of assembly that you will not even have the guts to question the governor. If governor invites him to come, he comes. Even if he's not invited, he feels offended for not being invited. He feels neglected for not being invited. We have all been in this state.
Honorable
We have all
Wokekoro.
been in this state.
Now, Honorable Wokekoro, we've seen that this is a very, the situation is, there are frayed nerves on both sides. There's a litany of allegations against the governor for what he did in the past. There are also allegations that, if he really wanted the interest of the state, if he had the interest of the state at heart, why didn't he make all those entreaties a long time before the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment came? That is only just grandstanding and playing to the gallery. If I may, I'm getting somewhere, sir.
The Constitution. I'm coming, sir. You're dealing with constitutional issues, all right? When Mr. President intervened with all good intent and purposes, a lot of majority of Rivers people did not agree to it. The governor said, because I want peace, I'm going to implement it. Remember, before then, there has been litigations in court regarding the legality of the assembly members that have defected in line with Section 109 of the Constitution. But the governor said, okay, because I've agreed to what Mr. President has said, I'm going to withdraw this matter. They refused to withdraw their own matter. That was what messed up our case, the governor's case. So governor was waiting for Supreme Court to define whether they are still members of the assembly or not. Unfortunately, the thing turned out the way it did. And the man said, okay, fine, no problem. This is Supreme Court, we must have to obey it. Give me time, let me see the true certified copy of the judgment. They didn't wait for that. They ordered immediately that he should appear before them within 48 hours to represent the budget. While waiting for that, they also have to invite RISEC that conducted local government election last year to come and appear and explain his role in that local government election. And also explain who gave him authority to issue a new timetable for the local government election. For as I speak with you today, that same RISEC chairman is been declared wanted. In fact, a warrant of arrest has been issued by the state assembly. So if they have come with good mind, if they have come with best intentions for Rivers people, would they be taking all these actions? I mean, you're talking about, I'm pained because you're talking about an election that my party won. You're talking about a local government election that my party won almost 100%. And today, that opportunity has been denied me. It's been denied my party. And now we are ready for the election. We have accepted what RISEC has given us as timetable. They are not satisfied with it. As I speak with you today, they are sitting and amending laws of local government.
So what do we
suit their purpose.
What do you do?
The same assembly that somebody saying, the same quarter that said somebody saying that the governor ought to have done that. It's the same place they even sat after the governor left. That's where they be sitting. Who is fooling who?
So, Honorable Wokekoro, in your own wisdom and as an interested party in this case, a stakeholder in Rivers State affairs, you're dealing with, it seems you're dealing with a party that is adamant to play ball or they're trying to settle political scores. So in the interest of Rivers State people, how do you suggest everybody moves on? Because the allocation for Rivers State is being withheld by the Supreme Court and they've given certain conditions to be met before these allocations can be released. So what's the way forward in this sort of Mexican standoff that we find ourselves?
There is no other way forward than what the governor has said. He said, I've accepted wholeheartedly to implement the decision of the Supreme Court. I'm expecting that the other party should understand that they're representative of the rivers, of the river state, not representative of Sonny, and begin to reason beyond their individual and personal interests and consider river state interests first and paramount. Because when that is done, I can assure you that river state will move on. But when I sit down here, because I have a godfather who dictates how I must move and when I must have to attend to things, that's why the difficulty is. That's why the problem is. The governor have accepted, and he has even taken steps. Like somebody said, he immediately asked the council chairman to leave, handing over to the next high-ranking officers in the local government. Now, he has also gone to the assembly to represent the budget that he presented to the assembly that was led by Okojumbo. And then he was stopped. Because all of them knows that if there is no allocation to the state, the governor cannot perform. The state will not move forward. And then you see that why somebody is saying that if governor is impeached, heavens will not fall. God.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's have Honorable Collins. Let's have Honorable Collins or do speak to a number of the points that you've highlighted. I'm sure that he does have a response.
Yes, thank you very much. My elder brother there, who is the chairman of the new, I don't know what they call their party. He delved into an area where I think that his conscience ought to blame him. Okay, the Supreme Court ruling came up, and we're trying to, like I said, douse trade nerves, and all of a sudden, the River State Electoral Commissioner came up with a program to conduct an election. I begin to wonder, do we know what is consequence management? Do we know what is called avoidable losses? This chairman was asked to conduct an election, and he did not meet the electoral requirements to conduct the election, and the All Progressives Congress went to court, and the court, up to the hog of the Supreme Court, nullified all that he did. And this is the same man who should sit down and be answerable to the fact that he disobeyed court orders to do things on his will, and now he's fixing another election. Is it a Rivers money? Anyway, I won't blame him. When the governor could come on air to say so much money was wasted in this fight. I mean, these are avoidable things. We should apply consequence management. We shouldn't be, because the money is not ours, it's Rivers money, it's not my personal money. You begin to waste it anyhow. How dare Honorable Justice Adolfo Zenebeli, after conducting an avoidable election, come to say he wants to conduct election again? Well, how? And without, there is no 2024 budget. There is no 2025 budget. How do you want to conduct this? You just fix a date. How are you moving? These are part of the things we are talking about, that the government should sit down and think, and not to begin to grandstand and
yeah, finally, Honorable Ordu, don't you think both parties should accommodate each other, and these date things and all of that in the interest of peace and the people of River State? You can't, all these unnecessary protocols, you need to give 72 hours, 73. Let's just do things that would move the state forward, because it seems it's revenge time or vendetta. How do you see this playing out, and what would be the best approach for you?
The House of Assembly is willing, and has been willing ever since, to adhere to anything that will bring peace. You recall that it was the governor who refused to represent this budget earlier on. Let me not use bad language. instigated people to go and challenge it in court. And even when there was no case, when he was supposed to present this budget, he refused to. And after how many years, we're back to where we should have passed long time ago. So please, like I said, and the Honorable Minister of the FCT, the leader of our party, said yesterday that the governor knows what to do. This is a family. The governor knows that we are a family. That man sitting down there, sorry, my elder brother that is there, is a member of PDP. He's a member of our family. I don't know when he decided to join another party. So it's a family, and we can sit down and sort these things out.
This PDP that you mentioned,
avoid all the...
Oh, I mean, I think a number of concerns that we have would be if the PDP has any influence in resolving the dispute in Rivers State, especially because the two parties, the two warring factions, are members of the People's Democratic Party. But I'm believing that the coming days we'll see more updates in Rivers State. At the end of the day, what we want is a state that moves forward regardless of politics, ego, semantics, and what may be. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Honorable Sonny Wokekoro and Honorable Collins Ordu, thank you for your time with us this morning.